Hey there! Welcome to the Influential Christian Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Francine Sinclair. I've been around the block in the entrepreneurial world, creating and repurposing social media content for experts and CEOs. I know firsthand how it can feel lonely, especially when you're mixing your Christian faith into your business life. So I figured, why should we go it alone? Who said that faith and business can't mix? And that's where this podcast comes in. Join me as we meet influential Christian entrepreneurs who are showing us how to blend business and faith in a way that works. We're here to prove that you can express your faith without compromising your business success. On the Influential Christian Entrepreneur, you're not just listening, you're part of the gang. So let's start this journey together. Welcome to the Influential Christian Entrepreneur Podcast, where we uncover the inspiring stories and strategies of successful Christian entrepreneurs. In today's episode, we have the pleasure of interviewing Jose Escobar, who is an award-winning personal development speaker, 8 times author, and revered business leader who, with 2 multi-6-figure ventures, including the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. He's captivated over 29 million people with his talks and has a global clientele of 330 entrepreneurs. With past sales surpassing 30 million, he has also impacted over 500,000 families through his martial arts coaching. Jose is a dedicated husband and father of 5. Discover more at theentrepreneurBookshelf.com. Hello, Jose. How are you doing today? Thank you for being here. Yes, and I'm super excited about having you here because I've known you now for, maybe over a year, and even have had the pleasure of meeting you in person when you came down because you're always traveling. So I had the pleasure of meeting you. And one of the things that stuck out when I met you in person, we were in a restaurant and we were talking, and I remember you saying, I'm a man of God. And I didn't follow up on that question because you were talking to me, but it made me look a man of God. So that's why I invited you to this podcast, knowing that you are an entrepreneur and you are a Christian. So first of all, on this podcast, I wanted to find out, how did you become a Christian?
So I am a cradle Catholic, right? So I say cradle.
Yeah.
I kind of grew up in a house where we went to church every Sunday, and it was just what we did. And eventually I got involved in as an altar boy at my church, and then I got involved with, helping in the RCIA, that would be teaching faith, help people go through their sacraments. And I went through all my sacraments, first communion, confirmation, and I got married in church, but I would have applied, but gone through the whole thing. So I started church with my parents. One very simple, married going on 50 years.
Wow.
And I've seen what it is to be a Christian, what it is to live the faith, not just say that you believe, but live by what you believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole other layer to that. So I've seen what it's like to grow up in a household where God is first and our faith is very, very important to us. I always wanted that. And ever since I got older, at some point, your responsibility to pursue it and continue to engage with it. And I've done that now with this foundation
to your household and your family. And were you always like a very well-behaved Christian the whole time? Did you ever fall out of the faith? And so many of us kind of like, we start in the church, our parents take us there. Then at some point, just kind of not have anything to do with it. They come back, or has it been consistent throughout your life?
No, I've always been practiced my faith. Now, there was an extensive period of about 10 years or so where I was like, right? I read my faith, not so positive way, where I was throwing house parties, kind of many fights, bar fights. You called me David, and I was The good news is that I've always been at the point where I never went too far across the edge for right? And I feel like the Lord always kept me active to the point where I've learned some tough lessons, and I've had some close calls with death many times. And for whatever reason, the Lord always kept me in a good place. And to this day, I'm healthy, I'm vibrant, I'm on the right track, I'm on the right track for years now. But I definitely lost my way a little bit. But I continue to go to church, and I continue to pray, and I continue to do things. And some people would look at that and say, well, that's pretty hypocritical. Real, like, think about it, how many people go to church?
Uh-huh.
And based on that, I always had a desire to be better, but I was an area where I was just weak, right? I was just very weak, and I was just going to the wind where everything was slow, and I learned some valuable lessons. And I'm grateful to say that I'm here, and I'm happy for the tough lessons I learned. And I would say I think back to thinking for him today, now I can coach the mentor right hand in a way where I know both sides of the
Yeah, and they say, and excuse me for not quoting the Bible verse correctly because I'm kind of new to Christianity, but something about you will know Jesus's disciples or the people who follow Jesus by the fruit, by their lives, how they live their lives. And I can see that that's pretty evident in you because, I mean, although I don't know you, like I'm not your neighbor, but by the things you post on social media, how your family's so united, how you have all your little children, well, and your big child, right? You have your big child and your little children and that family unity. And also how you treat other people, because that's a big thing, right? You can't say you're a Christian and then treating people like crap. And so you come from, I would say you're kind of like a servant leader in a way because you have that humble, that humility about you that makes everybody feel comfortable. But then at the same time, they know you're the leader, right? So that is just a fantastic combination right there. Now, the premise of the podcast, well, actually, before I get to that, I wanted to ask you more about your business because I was stumbling all over this bio because there's so much to talk about here. It's like, okay, first of all, you're 8 times author. So you've been writing books. How did you manage? Do you write a book every year? How do you do this? You have 8 books out. I have one of them.
Yeah. So this is the right? And everything I've done in business has happened in the last, since January 15th, 2022. So I haven't been in business very long. I've been in business for going on 18 months now, right?
Wow.
All the books I've done and the first book that I wrote, beginning to end, was the Entrepreneur's Guide to 40 People Team Mastery. You can check that out on the website. That's the one that a book that I wrote that's mine, entirely beginning to end my book, right? Then I co-authored a planner called the 90-Day Battle Plan, which is like a planner/journal that kind of speaks actually to that book today. And it's all about like your day, what type of goals, how your structure, right? Getting the best back to your buck productivity. So those two were near my heart, and I also author 6 other books. So I could have left it at me that my book for today, but I said, you know what? Being an 8-time
Sounds pretty impressive to me.
Yeah. So I can leverage your event titles and leverage your audiences to get people into my ecosystems because I'm in books with them and it's worked for me.
It has.
And again, that's why I'm continuing to do it. And I will write some more books for you, like today I'll do a couple of books myself. But I love them all just because it gets different parts of who I am. And it just helps. It's nice. I like it.
And it brings brings more people into your ecosystem. That's a strategy, and it works for you really well. And so, what about, I know you're also a speaker, because here it says that you've captivated over 29 million people. How in the world do you go about doing that in 18 months?
I was also in the property management world, great work for State Farm that was like 15 years, right? A lot, all the time. And then from there, I got into martial arts space. So I'm the director of a martial arts company, and they've had like wars, conventions every year. There's a lot of people there all the time, and I'm always speaking at little smaller events as well, and you name it. So that is where collectively over the years, many years, we've gotten those numbers. But at the end of the day, I never really made numbers. I think numbers are really, it's just a matter of one person at a time, one at a time, and creating massive impact and giving value wherever you can, right? Wherever you can. So yes, I am a speaker. I'm actually certified coach, author, trainer. That certification in August of last year. And I launched my business. I'm introducing Kathleen and the Entrepreneurs Bookshop. I've been speaking on the stage just about every week, whether it's in person or virtually, since January of last year. So I'm always busy, always busy.
And you're always traveling. I'm like, wait, how does this guy with 5 kids, a business, manage to travel all over the place all the time and make such an amazing impact? So you are an accomplished speaker, because you've been speaking for quite a long time. And you are also an accomplished salesperson, because that's why you were the director of sales for so what do you like more, speaking or selling or sales?
Sales. I love directing people to make a decision that is best. And that's what sales is about. And feeling the need, right? And the process of that, and dealing with personalities, and dealing with connections, and dealing with all of the things that come with sales is just something that I became into for many years. I think I've been selling for over 24 years now. And it's just been something that I've always developed. I'm still learning. We never arrive, right? There's no such thing as I've arrived. I'm still learning.
Right.
I'm still learning all the time. I'm reading books. I still have mentors. I'm going to events. I'm still watching YouTube videos. Right?
I know you're a learner. We can tell by these are all books behind you that you have read. Guys, the shelves extend to the side, and he also keeps like a ton of them on his desk. So he has books everywhere. Did you learn sales from your mom? I remember you told me a story about your mom being like a big salesperson for cosmetic products called Jafra, which was super popular back in the 80s, I think. So do you think you learned some of that from your mom?
Wow, great memories. So I just learned this today that apparently the older of John was right? Just like any 15 in religion, right? What's up, right? Somebody left launch conference, they became competitors, right? But that being said, my mother has been in that business forever, right? It's 40-something years. And since I was like 10 or 11, or clean houses, like we're cleaning 4 houses a day. Apartment in 1 bedroom, and I have 3 brothers. It was just, we grew up in that environment. We didn't have much money, but we never did it. And we needed a foundational thing in the center of our house. And my mom built this amazing business while having 4 young boys, all in their 30s, right? While houses, she found a way to get it done. And I learned hard work. I learned faith and grit and mental toughness from my mom and my dad. And eventually, my mom grew up in complex, got a multi-six-figure business of shopper cosmetics. And now we have multiple countries running her business, some of the places where she's never been. And it's just, open up marketing. I would just live with finances. So I did learn a lot.
Wow, that's an amazing story. Have you had your mom write a book yet?
No, I have not. But my dad actually has one book because he also came to this country and there's some powerful stories. He went from like a dishwasher to busboy, server, supervisor, to manager, to owning restaurants. And he lived in American dreams as well. So my parents went from like no English, no money, young parents. They were like 17, 18 when the first kid, and then they had 3 more kids and little education. And they ended up having a $1 million home and the American dream. And now they're retired, they're traveling and doing their thing. But so my dad would have loved my mother.
Oh, that'll be an interesting book. That would, if she ever writes it, let me know. I'd love to read her book. Where are your parents originally from?
Guatemala.
Okay, and so they came here.
Yeah, my dad came first. My older brother, my mother in Guatemala still. And my dad was here, building houses and doing construction and working as a busboy as well, or a dishwasher for a while, sending money to my mother. Eventually, my mother got the rights the proper way, and she my 2 brothers. And then I was born in Washington, D.C., and my cousin was born in Baltimore, Maryland. And that was a wrap. So we're first generation.
Wow. I love to hear those background stories. And I want a question I've always wanted to ask you is, how many books have you read?
But I read about a book.
Wow.
Somewhere between like 25, 20 something. So somewhere I have a long journal that I keep all the books I've read. All of the books you see on this side here are books I've read. Back there, I have books I've read. Back there, I have behind you. Here behind me, these are just some of the books that are like famous books. And then these are some rereads that I have. So I have like organized for the most part.
Wow.
PRs reread on my desk. So I have all these lists that I read.
So do you read one book at a time? Because I have a problem with picking out 2 books and reading them simultaneously. And I really prefer reading. So what's your strategy?
So I start 5 books per se in different categories. Another one can be a nuts and bolts business scaling book. Another one is just like a mindset versus development, health and wellness. Another one is relationships with my spouse or my kids or motherhood, whatever. I always have like 5 different books going. And whatever I feel I need that day or what my heart's at, I'll pick up that book. So I have 5 weeks at the same time. But I'm always finishing at least 1 per week, sometimes 2. And it's not about how many books you get. The whole process of how I like underline dog ears in the books, those margins, margin aliens, what we call it. I can think I don't index in the book, something particular talks about. And so I have a lot of well-read books, right? And people think you can book week of a fast reader. It's actually being not true. It's actually very slowly because hey, because I have a process where it makes my reading slower, writing underlying all these things that most people do. So the retention is way higher. I take notes. I also contemplate. I do note cards every single night. I take 5. I actually make 5 minutes of read that 5 minutes card. I have a file list of all things so I can go and look reference for speaking gigs or podcasts or a training session or course training, the whole process.
That's the whole process. And did you come up with that process yourself? Your own process?
No, I think something is something that companies don't do. It really is rum bringing do it all the time. A lot of really ultra successful people are John Maxwell. Over 90
Mm-hmm.
Just the art of violin, commonplace. So I then actually playing college, what the fun of my work is. I learned that from Robert Greene, who wrote 40 Volt Power. So I learned that from there. And then the animating, highlighting, all that stuff like that. I also picked up from John Maxwell, Tim Ferriss. I learned from Mike Holiday and many other people that have done that sort of thing. And then equity analysis. So as I learned all of these techniques and focus types and really that these forcing and fatigue things from like people like Al Milgram, very cool. Robert Sharp, all of these pieces. That's intellectual theory, but all of those things intellectual. So then think about those stuff that I teach them.
Oh, wow. So I could just read your book again, and I have like 2,500 books in one book. Mm-hmm.
Dancing years of mapping things like things or some cases which are flowers.
Yeah, that's amazing. So then, how does it? So I know you have a community of entrepreneurs. Talk to us about that and about your coaching. Is your coaching a one-on-one? How do people work with you?
Yeah, so I have a couple of things I can rest.
Mm-hmm.
Bread and butter. One is the Connectedness Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Connectedness Academy is a growing tribe, global tribe of media. Where 42 states across the U.S. 17 international countries. And my goal is looking for the best of the best entrepreneurs that are making things happen in the world. And not just a specific type of entrepreneur, right? Because, all kinds of real estate investors, real estate investors. So what I do is collaborate, learn, grow, create opportunities. That's kind of what I've done there. That's what we're trying to do. We're looking to get to 1 million members in 100 countries. We have a lot of big tools on working on there. Stay tuned there. In terms of the other parts, is my book projects, my speaking. That's the other thing. Because whenever I write books, I get to more stages. Me and all the other income streams. And that's kind of where I'm at. I also find that most mastermind as well. So what's up right now is that mastermind, but four people in that thing. We're moving pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it is I go to live events as well. I'm also involved in merchandising those people, all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited about where this is right now. And for those who don't know this, most people are on this podcast in business for myself. Business at all. No business at all. I wasn't having no business at all. So having two businesses with 8 income streams, now doing 7 figures in 50 months, right? And most people look at that and say, oh, wow, that's so bad. Or maybe both, right? It's not so much the money or the speed, it's about how I did it, right? I did it with no website, 0 paid ads, 0 marketing budget, 0 funnels for marketing at the time, 0 email marketing campaigns or instruments. It was all 100% organic for my approach. The strategy that's my community, and that's what we're doubling down on now to teach other people. And that's what I'm trying to do that, right? But we're doing a lot of cool things. I've got degrees in business and in terms of my life, professionally. So as they say, we're all being honored for those.
Amazing what God is doing through you. So the premise of the podcast is we've always been told to never mix business and faith because it's bad for business. You'll turn people off. It's rude to talk about, your faith in a business setting. What do you think about that? And and if you incorporate faith into your business, how do you do it?
You should never incorporate faith in business. I say both, right? I say both. say, oh, when you're saying, don't talk about faith and politics. I don't call that stuff. That's what people say, right? That's what the media thinks. I'm like, this is my part. It's called something I'm afraid to break a little bit. Respectfully. Very respectful when it comes to what I say and how I say it. I want to be first feelings and thoughts. If you don't want to speak about something, I will bring it up. But if you don't want to talk about it, it's okay. No problem. I'm not into that, offending people. Like, I'm just like, it's on my part. It's the right thing to say or talk about or do. Then that's what you're going to hear in my mouth. In terms of business and God, well, there is no business from it. So they're actually interconnected, right? Like, there's that like domain, like I talk about that you're ever talking about all the time, right? The right effects of parents, right? The right effects of parents, the right effects of business, the right effects of finances, your health, the right effects of all of this. Going, so there is no such thing as dividing these two. They are absolutely unequivocally interconnected. I involve God in everything. And in my business.
So you involve God in every. So do you explicitly talk about your faith? Like when do you ever bring up the subject to people directly, or do you wait? You just let them know what your faith is and leave that door open for them to approach you if they feel like it. Has that ever come up in a business context for you where you have actually ministered to someone?
Sure, I do it all the time. Actually, it is crazy because and I'm ministering to people that are. Right? And it's like a special thing. Last night, I have a bunch of big titles I always wear, and there's been many. I can't just tell you how many more. I love, everything is incredible, crazy, but I enjoy it. I want to make our business. And I'm by myself, or there are a couple people I'm hanging out, and I see somebody by themselves, I'll start talking to them. I'm going to think, I can talk to them. And I end up in a prayer with them, and I have this switch, and I say, keep this. And you have no idea how many people I spoke to that. That's the thing. You Catholic, or no longer Catholic, you be Christian, or no longer Christian, or just like, that's a conversation that some people who reached out to me eventually and then I ended up closing and during the church, our conversation kind of Florida, or hey, by the way, I'm not being training it, things like that. You just never know. And these like random conversations you have. But to address your question is, I don't necessarily have a system of knowing what great bodies like. I'm a freestyle guy. Like first thing, a specific thing, well, that's exactly their structures. But outside of that, it's very general power. Here, I don't necessarily have anything for like 40 minutes. We're like, all right, guys, before I get started, we're going to start prayer. I don't necessarily do that, right? Because, that's plenty there for me. But also, it's very clear that I have to be Christian. I pray every day. I do read the Bible. I pray for every Sunday. Well, people know that about me. I'm not trying to say it, but I pray on the side. So when he brings it up, I'll talk about it. Many times where I've had coaching calls for personal topics, how many times these calls run in the direction of me, and I have conversations. And there's been many times where I'm on a call with somebody, and somehow God comes up, and I always bring the subject first. I want to see where their heart is there, right? And we'll talk about it. Because a lot of the problems we have in our lives are not side problems. I've had hold of trying to deal with alcohol or drugs, or pornography, or overworking, or working really well, or all these things. outside of my stance, the whole is not science. It's not anything else. Like, if you can fill that hole with God at the highest level of life, being connection or then everything else is like not that important.
Mm-hmm.
Your family is that nature. So yeah, I'm not talking about it necessarily.
Right. You just, when you feel inspired,
Yes.
when the Holy Spirit goes in there and the conversation just turns, you just follow it naturally. Everybody has their own style and depending on their personality. I think for you, when you look at, for example, your social media and your personal brand in general and how your family life, that really shows a Christian, not to say that other people don't have family, but that really just shows, what a Christian man is supposed to be like. The biblical definition of manhood, like, you're the head of the household, you have your wife, you have your children. And I mean, you are a wonderful example, Jose. I'm thinking that maybe someday you should start coaching young people, young men, as part of your ministry.
It's funny you say that. Before I go into it, really quick, I have something that I do. Not many people know this, but I'll share.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I have this thing called
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to 5 days, and you basically go in here. It has color coded all the different parts of the Bible. Podcast. It basically goes the entire Bible here, and there's a podcast where there's even listed author podcast. You can search for the Bible here. Take notes when you're reading, and then the priest who's doing this thing is actually he actually does like a breakdown to explain, right? Because when you read the Bible, you're like, just have somebody who knows what we're talking about is explaining it. That's not how it's helps kind of brings it to life, right? All the spiritual warfare life.
Mm-hmm.
That's life, a lot of people think it's me versus the world, it's me versus my competitor, it's me versus this and that. That's really what it's all about. And I make sure I dress up accordingly. It's here in Ephesians 6, the full armor of God.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very important that we dress up, suited up every single day, because the devil never sleeps, right? And people say, I believe in God, well, guess what's the devil?
Yeah.
We gotta put some action. Anyways, again, no topic. So go back to what you were saying about
young men.
Young men. I actually started a challenge maybe 3 years ago, something like that. It was called the Conquered Will, and it was the Conquered Will. It's like 75 parts.
Yeah.
That's a great program. And when I did this program, I got it was amazing, but it was missing spiritual components. And I said, I can create my own program and have spiritual components. So I created this program called the Conquered Will. And the Conquered Will is an outward intense challenge for men, right? So that's, it's that.
Yeah.
It's called the Conquered Will. And about 12 men took it off with me. One of them is Oral Money, which you might
Yeah.
Academy, Jeff Money, and Mark and a couple other folks that might know, but they all did it. And they loved it. It's incorporated reading scripture, praying, and doing all these including, having a planner and having a morning routine, and also the fitness piece, diet piece, all your components. So there's things. That's a whole thing that I'm going to relaunch in 2024. Go after men, Christian faith, right? Because there's so many people out there. And I feel called to be the world, right?
Oh, yeah.
I really believe that. And I was so I'm going to revamp the entrepreneurial in 2024 and not necessarily go after like young men, but young men are everything. But
Yeah.
really after men in general, because I think there's a lot of households that don't have their right? And there's a lot of parenting things that happen from them as well, and they're not around.
And even if they are around, they're not present.
Yes, I can keep going. I mean, the list goes on. I'm not sure if it's required, but I feel called to make an impact for the kingdom, not just for me and my business and my family, but for the afterlife. Right?
That's leave a legacy.
Well, just like right? The afterlife. And I'm that person. I love the concept of that. I love the concept of fighting for something much more greater
than you, and leave a legacy as well and impact God's kingdom. And when you said that, I thought of that saying that says, weak men make hard times. And as a culture, we've really weakened the position of men. In the past, I just started noticing it only a few years ago, and I don't think it, and the enemy, it's been on purpose, of course, but, with this whole thing about what they call it, toxic masculinity and all of this stuff, it started with some men who are masculine have toxic traits, but then eventually they kept on saying it, and it just turned into being a man is toxic. That's the way I saw it anyway. And I think me having a 17-year-old son, I don't like that, what, the culture is out there saying. So we as Christians need to be the counterculture and really put our foot down and stop sitting down and shutting up and doing what we're called to do. There is a cost to discipleship, and it entails risk. Because once I started talking about my faith, I'm a new Christian, but still, I started talking about my faith. I got some hate. I got some hate, and I got some sideway looks, internet sideway looks like, ooh, I must stop engaging with this person because clearly she has lost her mind. They forget that I was on the other side where they are. And I am just so happy that men like you are taking charge, are putting on the full armor of God, with the truth, which is the word of God, and standing up and saying that, and not worrying about hurting people's feelings, because it doesn't matter what you say, you're always going to hurt someone's feelings. The only thing you can do is say it in the most loving way that you can. And so, I think that that's fantastic. So I've gone through, got all of your ventures. So is there something new that you have coming up, Jose? Anything new? Or speaking somewhere else? Are you going to China next? Where are you going?
That was fantastic. I'll be in Canada very soon, and Guatemala from there. But in terms of speaking, I'll be in Texas this weekend for shows and different shots in Academy. So I'll be doing this weekend speaking there. And I'll be in Cherry, New Jersey for this weekend. I'll be speaking there, sponsored there. I'll be speaking at a conference with Dr. Melvin called the Women Conference for Men, right? And the importance of that, I'll be speaking there. I'm excited about that. That's end of September. And then I'll be at the PLM Mastermind in Florida. That would be awesome. The list goes on and on. So we're going to be somewhere, because again, it's about getting in front of as many people as possible, right? Creating what we impact as possible. And part of my goal is to, as much as somebody might not want to see or hear connected to Academy, if possible, I'm going to be able to.
And I believe you.
Well, I'm not an event, I'm just functioning. I'm not functioning, I'm going to be at the event close, right? Because I love the movement. It's a movement Right. So, and it's not just for me, it's for the people who are in it, decision people to win. And that's really what it's all about, is getting people to win, to create that growth, to do opportunities, actually value, ROI, everything at the end of the day, all goes back to the purpose. Goes back to why. And it's just so fitting to be on this podcast because that is exactly why I do what I do. Now, do I talk every day when I'm dating business? Not necessarily. But if you ask me about anybody's going to work with me, they will tell you about all the time. Because that is the bottom line. That's why I do it, right?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, the next thing for me is I'm going to speak in many different areas. You'll see me responsible for speaking about places. That way, I'm actually about information that says you're really excited direction. And then also, we have, anyways, there's just a lot of things. Students, my Facebook. On Facebook, check out the Ansible J-A-S-O-5, J-A-E-S-O-5, that handle you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, on Instagram, but where I live, I'm on Facebook, and anything and everything you're up to, or
I'll make sure to put your link on the show notes so that people can find you. He is extremely active on Facebook. That's where his community lives, everything. And I'll put the link in there so that you guys can find him. You personify the influential Christian entrepreneur because you are a man of influence. You're a Christian and you're an entrepreneur. So, I think you're the perfect example because you are talking to so many people and in so many places. I feel like you need to put a map or a schedule of where you are on any particular week because you're all over the place. So it is amazing. For anybody listening to this podcast, I would highly recommend that you check him out on Facebook, but you can also check out his website, which is the entrepreneursbookshelf.com. Is there another link that you want to send people to?
Yes, the one I signed, the first one, book.com. So www.winningadaybook.com. So the word book and the title, so winningadaybook.com. You can get it there. It's actually cheaper to get it there. Amazon, and you get a sign up, so it's coming from me correctly. Also, the next week is nextweek.com. And
you're going to have a website for it?
now that I've I wanted to get on purpose and before I can get into the text. Website, academy.com. There's going to be funnels, automation. There's going to be leads, Facebook ads, email marketing campaigns, affiliate links. I mean, the whole works. So stay tuned. It's going to grow and it's awesome.
Amazing. That's how you're going to get to the million people with getting out a little bit out of the organic view one-on-one and be able to scale. Fantastic. So you guys heard it. The man built a 7-figure business without any tech. I can testify to, I can say that is true because I saw it happen. So what a better testimonial than that? It's true. Everything he's saying is true, guys. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys. We appreciate you listening to us every week here on Tuesdays. If you are a Christian CEO or executive seeking to authentically integrate your faith and professional brand on LinkedIn to inspire others, further God's kingdom, and leave a legacy, let's connect. My email is hello@francineSinclair.com, or you can find me on my website, francineSinclair.com. I want to thank you so much, Jose, for being here today. Thank you, everybody. See you again next week for another episode of The Influential Christian Entrepreneur. Take care. If you're a Christian business leader or executive, I invite you to work with me to create a faith-driven personal brand on LinkedIn that will empower you to navigate the intersection between faith and business. Feel free to contact me directly at hello@francineSinclair.com. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening today. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast and don't forget to follow me, Francine Sinclair, on Facebook or LinkedIn. See you next week for a new episode.